What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm back here with another video, and today we got some crazy news. Brady Tkachuk is a Florida Panther. He's going to go play with Marchand, his brother, Matthew, and what a good day for the Tkachuk household. And Keith Tkachuk, his sons are going to play together. Ottawa receives the 9th overall selection, the 25th overall selection, the first round pick, the second round pick, 2029, and in 2030. Let's just get through all of this actually real quick. The Senators were discussing also trading him to Carolina and Las Vegas before this deal was done. It kind of just felt like those two teams make sense, but I wonder if Carolina are still on the championship. Like, I don't want to call it a championship high, but you just won the championship, so you're not really set on making decisions for next year yet, right? And especially because why would you change what was already super good to your roster? And why would you get rid of any pieces potentially on your roster for a Brady Tkachuk? I feel like they feel comfortable with their group's at. Vegas, I think they're always willing to make a splash, and I'll talk more about that later. The Wild made a huge offer. Now, these were the only 4 teams reported, and it sounded like these were on a 4-team trade list. Like, Brady wanted to go to these places. It was a huge offer. Puck Empire has actually a really good mock trade that I think was potentially offered. And I think there was probably even like something else thrown into this, but it was not taken. And then the big news is that it was discussed about Brady's future, and it became an annoyance in the locker room, in which we know, like, after the Nations 4, after the Olympics, it felt more and more like it was potentially he didn't want to be in a Canadian market. It also felt like there was kind of like a rivalry there. Like, Canadians weren't happy that he won the gold medal. They were also not happy about a couple of the other things. He that probably doesn't help on your podcast when your dad's kind of talking about guys being injured. I think that was more for Florida, I think. At the time, I don't remember, but talking about like the injuries and stuff. So it's like never a good idea. And then it was also just more that came out. Recently became clear that the Senators, that Brady Tkachuk wanted to leave and didn't resign. This is the one thing I'm like, listen, if you're Ottawa, and you guys don't know this because you guys hate Vegas, but this is one thing I'll always appreciate for Vegas. If you're not producing, if you don't want to be here, don't fucking be here. Like, we're not gonna hold you captive. And the Steelers, Tomlin said this line, like, we want volunteers, not hostages. And that's how I feel like this should have been for Ottawa. We don't want you to be a hostage. We don't want you to feel that you don't want to be here. If you want to move on, then get out. We're going to trade you. And I think they got a decent haul for him. I know a lot of people are saying this is looking worse. Now, maybe it's because of the unprotected pick. But in my opinion, I feel like Ottawa can go out in free agency, get a guy that hopefully could replace Brady in some way, shape, or form. And now a 9th overall pick. Maybe you could even say, hey, before the draft, trade one of these 2 picks for someone else to boost your roster. And then the last but not least, players in the Senators locker room were not pushing for Brady to stay, which is not good when you are the captain. Now let's go back to this trade real quick. So when they made a trade earlier today, and actually I want to try to see if I can get that information before we continue to move on. But the trade was going to go through, they made a trade earlier that day, or this day, and I was like, wow, this is interesting, because like it kind of just came out of the blue. Here we go. No, what the hell is going on? So here we go. So this trade kind of just came out of the blue today. Like, we kind of knew what they had to do, but second round pick and a late first round pick. And everyone kind of figured, are they going for a guy like Connor Hellebuck? I thought they were going to go after a guy like Connor Hellebuck. I thought it made sense. I thought they were like, okay, Bobrovsky, we're done. Let's go get the netminder for the now and the future, and let's make this squad a pain in the ass to play against. A top 4 with a great goaltender and a really good solid lineup. Then they go and get Brady, and now I think, what are they going to do for goalies? Because I want you guys to kind of see this list if you can. Um, but there's not many great goaltenders available. These are all free agents. We know Bobrovsky's probably gone. But so here's what you got. We know Jonathan Quick is retired, so that's not going to happen. Are they going to re-sign him? What is like? What's going to happen there? Do they trust him to be the netminder? Matt Murray, I doubt it. Doubt David Rittich. I No way they go after Copley or Reimer, right? And then RFAs, there's not a lot. I feel like Pittsburgh is going to make sure that they lock down their guy. I doubt that these two guys are going to go off. Depending on what Vegas does, I think Akira Schmidt's probably going to get re-signed because he had a good year. And I feel like I don't think Greaves is going to go anywhere either. So it's like, well, where the heck is somebody going to go, right? That's going to be the biggest question. I think that what's next, I think, is really where everyone is at. What does this mean for other big time guys? Like, what does this mean for Dylan Larkin? For me, I think that if I'm Minnesota, I'm doing everything in my power to get him. Because if you were in on Brady and they told you no, and it also might be one of those scenarios where it's like you always wonder, like, why doesn't a team ever make a move? It might also just come down to like Minnesota. If Think about it, if Minnesota, no matter who they go against, and it's the player's decision, that's rough. Because what if they went to Brady and they said, okay, well, here's Florida's offer. We have a offer from Florida and an offer from Minnesota. They're both fair. We like both of them. Where would you like to go? And he obviously wants to go play with his brother. He says that. Well, then what happens if Dylan Larkin then there's two pretty fair offers from both, like, let's say Vegas and Minnesota. And he's like, you know what, I want to go to Vegas. Like, they're always in the cup, like, contention. Like, maybe the not having recent success in the postseason, like, yes, they just went to the second round, but maybe Minnesota is still in that area where it's like, do guys want to go there to hopefully win? And I mean, for Larkin, I think that I would want to go there. I think being this top center on that team would be amazing. But it's at the same time, do you want to win a cup? Because kind of similar to what Brady could have gone to a team that he would have been one of the top guys on the team, but now he's like one of the fourth best players on the team, behind Barkov, behind Matthew, because I think Matthew's better, Marchand, and even the defenseman. Like, then if he went to Vegas, think about it. Stone, Eichel, Marner, he wouldn't have even been the fifth best player on the team, probably. So it's kind of like, wow, like, would you rather be that or would you rather be the number one guy? And I think that Larkin to Minnesota now makes the most sense. And it also makes you think, like, there are a lot of rumors about Connor Hellebuck. I wonder if Vegas is trying everything in their power to go try to make a deal with either Larkin or Connor Hellebuck. I think, here's the thing, if I'm Vegas, because what was the biggest thing in my opinion, that was the biggest problem was goaltending all year long. And then Carter Hart, listen, I didn't want the guy there to begin with. And the fact that he was the one in the finals was not happy about. Hell, I wanted Aiden Hill to come in after game 3, after we let in 4 goals in a row. I wanted Hill to come in after game 3 because I figured, well, they're going to change their goalie. We should too, to be 100% real and see what could happen. Because at that point, Carter Hart let in 3 games in a row, 4 goals. So I was like, we need to change the momentum now. And they didn't do it because that was their guy. And it was Torts' guy. I think Vegas, if they're going to get one of those big guys, because they were rumored in Brady Tkachuk, they're rumored in Larkin. Now I think they're going to try their best to get one of those two players. And people are going to be like, well, what are they going to have to give up for those guys? I'm thinking if they're going to trade him to Detroit, I think Vegas is going to try to get some goaltender in return, whether it's one of their depth guys like Gibson or something. They're going to try to dump off Hill before this as well. But I think the key piece to this is not Trevor Conley, the Vegas Golden Knights' only first-round pick that they have, like, prospect-wise, because I think he's going to have to come into the lineup because they're going to get rid of Dorofeev. I think Dorofiev's contract is going to be too much. I think he's going to ask for too much. and that is going to be a problem. So Vegas is going to say, you know what? Thank you for your contributions. You played with Jack Eichel and you did this on this line. It's kind of like a Marchie situation where it's like, look what happened when Marchie didn't play with Eichel, Stone, and all those guys. He didn't produce points. And honestly, when Dorofeev doesn't play with Eichel, his scoring does go less unless it's on the power play. Um, and I really think that it's going to be the same for Winnipeg. I think Vegas is going to try to get rid of Hill because right now I think they have $13 million with the LTIR cap from Pietrangelo because we know he's retired. I think the $6 million that you get from Hillsdale, I think you're going to figure out and get from Connor Hellebuck or Larkin. I think either way, they're going to go big, and I think they would rather have Connor Hellebuck because similar to Florida and how Florida's building their team. If you can get that goaltender, like, because now look at that. Like, Florida looks like Vegas. Florida's like, okay, you have good defensemen, good forwards, but you have no goaltender. How far are you going to go in the postseason? Vegas got lucky and they were 2 games away from winning, but that was just it. They were lucky. Like, their goaltending was ass. So if they can get a guy like Connor Hellebuck and they feel comfortable, like, getting a guy that could replace some of Dorothea's scoring, and in the postseason, hopefully a guy that could elevate his scoring in the postseason, Vegas will make that offer real quick. I truly think that. So I'm very interested there. If you're a Florida fan, what do you think they're going to do with their goaltending? It's going to be very intriguing. Can you get Bob to, like, one last try, like, hey, take a pay cut? Like, you will win another cup. But at this point, it's like, does he want to win another cup? Like, obviously, but, like, I feel like Bobrovsky's going to get a deal somewhere. And I honestly think that many teams are going to be interested in Bobrovsky. The biggest question is going to be who, where, and is it going to make sense? And I think it will. But let me know what you guys think about the Florida deal. Brady Tkachuk going. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Like this video if you'd like to, comment down below. I'm going to try to make more of these videos. That's my goal, especially this summer, even when I'm traveling and stuff. I'm going to make YouTube, whether it's YouTube Shorts or, TikTok, something. I am going to bring more sports news to you guys. I think I'm going to try to go away from the gaming and I'm going to go full into the sports news. But I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.